Welcome to Trident Wargaming, a podcast dedicated to all aspects of tabletop wargaming. Your hosts are Bill and Andy.
Hello, welcome back. This is Trident Wargaming. Today is going to be all about that sweet hobby. It's the last hobby episode of the year.
Yes, sir. It's, long year, a lot of work.
Yeah.
We always love doing these hobby episodes.
Oh, yes.
I don't think we do them enough, actually, but
Well, it's true.
we put it through them and throw them into the cycle, right? So it's a good time to have one, and at the end of the year, go through everything, kind of what we've got going, what we got planned, that kind of thing, right?
So many games.
Oh, there's always so many games. I mean, you know us, we've got a backlog of them.
Yeah.
But what about? I guess we kick it off with like some of our hobby progress, considering it is a hobby episode. What do you got going, Bill?
Oh, currently, right now, I'm trying to get my Iron Warriors ready for LVO. I've got a little bit of a project ahead of me. By January 8th, I'm planning on having 3 Tyrant Siege Terminators painted. Planning on having 15 additional Tactical Marines with bolters built and painted. Planning to have 2 Javelin Speeders painted. 2 Saber tanks built and painted. And I think, and a Sakaran Punisher with heavy bolter sponsons painted. That's what I need to finish off my LVO list.
That's a fair bit.
there's a decent chunk there for sure, but it's gonna be nice to put some time into them and get them ready, especially with some of the Christmas break and stuff coming up.
Definitely.
And yourself, sir? I know you've been toiling
away.
Oh
man, when am I not? Well, currently and ongoing, of course, I'm probably not going to get them all done by the end of this month, but my white scars for LVO as well, I do want to take them instead of my Ultramarines. Just it's a change, right? So,
yeah.
And I got a bit to go. I got about probably 10 jet bikes, another 5 outrider bikes, about 5 speeders.
Ooh.
And I believe a character. Yeah, one of the characters I gotta do up. Plus, I gotta switch out some bolt guns for combi weapons and stuff like that, right? So some small little switchovers like that too. But yeah, again, holidays coming up here. Got some time off, a couple of weeks off, so definitely gonna be a big push on that time that I have. Of course, there's always our other stuff like Battletech and whatnot that continuously working on.
Yes.
But mainly that, plus I've been printing out some more 3D terrain for Battletech. Right now it's kind of like a pipeline refinery kind of gig. So a lot of pipes, a lot of containers, stuff like that. So just getting stuff like that ready. Bolt action wise, just still on the same path. Still got a couple little things to finish off. Just matter when I get to them. but ultimately, scars at the moment. Just going headstrong with getting that done. Doing a lot of custom bases with the cork and the pumice and the sand and all that stuff, right? As you know, Bill, you do similar stuff too, right? But because you decided to switch over to your Iron Warriors.
I did. Just dirty bitch and just jumped over. In all honesty, it came down to time constraints. And
okay.
As much as I like to work under pressure, I'm the procrastinator extraordinaire. And if you're listening to this and you're like, I am too, kudos to you. I get my best work done when I'm under the gun. I really think I do.
He does. Yeah.
But I didn't want to do that to myself this time, just because, work is crazy and a little bit busier, and I just really want to try and, make it not all painting all the time, right? Like, we are going to be coming up to some Christmas holidays. Got to do the family stuff as well, and I just didn't want to make every waking moment painting. Not that I don't like it, I just wanted to relax, and the Iron Warriors are easy to paint. I know that scheme inside and out, where I found myself still testing out colors for different units that I haven't painted before. Right, so it's like, I gotta paint Galvor back. What can I do? How can I make the flames and kind of possessed bits look really cool? Should I do flesh? Should I do blue? I was like, it's just so much time trying to experiment and really lock down the colors, right?
Yeah, and that's a thing when you're doing a new army, because you envision that, you have that thought in your head of, okay, this is what I want it to look like. But then you got to wrap your head around on, how am I going to get to that point? What am I going to do? What do I need? What do I have? Right? Like, because I do remember, like, a while back, I was going to do word bearers myself, and I had painted up Logar.
He turned from the word, you guys.
Well, it kind of sucks being, playing space Ultramarines and word bearers. I can't really go and play myself.
It's true. You can't grudge yourself.
So, but ultimately, like, when I was painting him up, and then I was painting some Galvor back up, there was a lot of testings with different flesh hues, and because the demonic mutations on them and stuff.
That's exactly it.
And then on the same time, when I was doing Logar, like, I did him in red armor with a almost like a highlighted, like, neon yellowish green, more yellow glow coming from within his armor, going up, to his face, right? And just trying to figure stuff out like that, if it's going to work well with what you envision. It takes time, and then of course, if you don't like it,
it's even
you're
worse,
gonna use more time, right? And, like, even for me with the scars, I said to myself, every biker, every unit is going to have a completely different design on them, right? With all the red markings and stuff on their bikes and speeders and this and that. And I have ideas of what I want, and it's a matter of getting through it. And it's just like, there's a lot of times where, it's time consuming, because you're just like, okay, well, this bike is pretty much cocooned in tape. And for not even 2 minutes of spraying. But it's been turning out. So, like, I got it kind of down pat on my process for it. But now, at the same time, because I do have the decals, now I get to see where I can place some of this stuff and make stuff complete. Like, that'll be like the finishing touch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was the same thing with my Ultramarines when I was hammering down to get them ready for LVO. The decals were just that finishing touch right at the end, where it's like, okay, these are the symbols I have to work with. This is what I need to do.
Yeah. It seals it all. It makes it.
It does.
The finished thing.
And the beautiful thing is, with your armies, and I can say this goes with all armies. If you like to bust out armies and pump them out and get them to a point where they're ready to go tabletop, and you're happy with what they look like, but you want to go back and touch them up a little bit, you can, right? Like I was starting to do that with my Ultramarines, kind of making them look a little bit more grittier with the AK enamel wash.
Yeah.
And like tone them down, because sometimes it's funny because in some pictures they look nuclear. It's pretty crazy.
All about that lighting.
Yeah, well, it is, right?
It is.
But yeah, no, like hobby wise for that, you can always revisit your old armies and touch them up, you know. So
it's true. I know. Sidetrack, but I've been thinking about going through my Space Wolves and redoing all the faces.
Oh, and we know you love doing faces.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I've been learning. I've been cracking the code, as it were.
Yeah.
Between talking to some of the boys online and picking up that Scale 75 flesh set, and then even watching that Warhammer Plus. Where she shows the different ways to paint the face and how to get the kind of cold hues or warm tones, and I do recommend checking that out too if you are on the fence, or if you are thinking of signing up or just subscribing to it. Check it out because it's worth it. The masterclass has some cool stuff.
I still haven't checked it out, to be honest.
I know you're missing out, son.
I know. I'm missing out a lot.
When you come over next time, we'll watch some Angels of Death, and you'll be like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
I know earlier there you were talking about all the different projects for the different systems. A big one. It's like the Sleeping Giant right now, and I know Dan will be happy to hear this, but Titanicus.
Yeah.
I've got so much damn Titanicus to build and paint and get ready for what can only be known as like Titan Palooza of 2022. It's gonna be off the chain, I think.
That system, I think, definitely for us next year is gonna explode. Like it's already slowly taking off.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, like Dan is just totally into it, which is cool. It's awesome. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to put much, time to even looking into it, just because I'm busy with all the other stuff. But next year is definitely going to be that time of, okay, let me sink my teeth into this. And let's start playing. Let's get some games going with the boys, with Alex and Dan and all the other guys who want to jump in, because we do have a fair bit of guys in the community that play. There are.
Well, we got let's shout it out. We got Josh, we got Steven, we've got Mackenzie, Jason Stevens. Oh man,
Brady,
yeah. Oh gosh, Armin.
Yeah, there are 4 of us.
Yeah.
So that's already 10.
Yeah, there's a crew. Norman, I know, was jumping in, getting some of his stuff ready. Tons of different people online, right? And that's nice because that's I think one of the coolest things with a hobby group / community is you're only, you're having fun if you're playing the game, but let's be real, if if your boys and girls and all the crew are coming out and playing the game, everybody's having a lot more fun.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right? Like,
hell yeah.
It's
such a smooth game, right?
Yeah.
Like the game itself, like only really playing it once and then checking it out a few times.
Yeah.
It's already, you can tell already that it's a well designed, smooth game, and
it is.
After hearing about some of the stuff with like Dan, where tons of explosions like in the game, it's like, okay, cool. This isn't going to be a 5-hour game. This is going to be a hour and a half game, but it's going to be fun.
It plays fast. It's really cool. I know the first time I played with the guys, like I had like rubber banding from Battletech.
Oh,
like there was some similar, not the same, but similar kind of rules. The way like some of the mechanics worked, and I just found it was like a faster version, right? Less detailed. I think we were talking about this earlier. I know I was talking to Brady about it, but like, you know, comparing Battletech to D&D versus, you know, Titanicus is more like a, I don't know, a quicker, faster game.
So if you're comparing the two, like Battletech is definitely an older rule set.
Yeah,
hands down. A gazillion details to the game, right? As much and as little as you want. Whereas, you know, Titanicus, it's an up-to-date version of the game, of you know, of big stompy robots kind of game, right?
Yeah.
But it has its own flair, which is awesome. You know, you have your weapon systems, you're still rolling the hit, you have movement. Of course, it's in the traditional, you know, tape measuring distance kind of gaming compared to the hex movement and stuff.
Yeah.
But you have, you know, your reactor and stuff like that is comparable to your heat in Battletech, right? And your weapon systems obviously come across the same kind of thing. And then like your armor and your criticals, they're very similar because both games have it, and then both games have things that happen, like results that happen to you when you get hit, when you take structural damage. You know, it affects this, it affects that, right? So there's a lot of similarities to that. Now, with Titanicus has a lot of intricate little orders, commands that you can do, and it changes things for what your unit can do or what your Titan can do, kind of thing, right? Whereas in Battletech, there really isn't that, except for, you know, you pretty much decide where you're moving and what you want to fire, and so on and so forth. But it's an updated, clean, and time efficient, you know, rule set.
Yeah,
it really is, in my opinion, at least. I mean, I don't know if guys agree or disagree, but it's definitely an interesting game. I'm glad I have both.
Yeah.
You know,
well, different systems for different things too, right? Like,
yeah, like, I mean, Battletech's ingrained into me, but Titanicus, you know, we never got to play like Epic.
No.
Way back when. So this is kind of nice that it's all here. Like, no, it's not Epic, but it's Titans, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be a fun and exciting and fresh Horus Heresy setting system for us to jump into in 2022, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. I find myself, you know, having the appeal is it is a heresy game. There is the connection to the lore, and you're able to kind of, you know, align yourself, you know, for the Emperor or the War Master.
Mm-hmm.
Just, yeah, kind of continue on, right? Like, we've been playing tabletop heresy for a while, and now that we can kind of translate over to Titanicus and, you know, still get a lot of good games in and play with the same, you know, the usual crowd and some new faces, it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that.
It is, and hobby time, like, because there is a lot of times, we haven't done it recently, but there is a lot of times where we do Sunday night, you know, get-togethers on Discord.
It's true.
For the Heresy group there.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really refreshing to work on that kind of stuff as well, and people showing off their stuff. And a lot of guys have stuff painted, right? So
yes,
it is pretty cool. It'll be one of those games again where we have stuff painted before we even really start playing.
Yeah,
which has not happened to us. You know, like, I'm gonna say, I don't know,
for an age.
Seven, yeah. eons ago.
Yeah.
But 7 or 8 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, we were at a state where it was games first, right?
Oh yeah.
Play first, get your models built, play first. But times have changed.
Exactly.
But hobby-wise, the game, they have enough beautiful miniatures out there, and they're always coming out with a few more here and there, or extra little kits to upgrade your current ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool to see. It's gonna be cool to see what everybody goes with, because we already know there's a couple guys already doing multiple Legios.
Yeah, that's the cool thing, is watching multiple Legios from Loyalist and Trader sides come to life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Trader snob, right? I'm still sticking with Krytos.
He is.
That's just how I roll. But I'll have enough Knights and Titans. Well, no Knights, but enough Titans that I can play some big games. 3 to 5K for some serious throwdowns.
And even as Bill says, he's a trader snob.
Mm-hmm.
I always kind of want to have both sides, but I end up always kind of going more loyalist myself, right?
Yeah.
Which balances it out.
It's true.
But yeah, there's a lot of options, especially with these 2 new books, right?
Yes.
Trader and loyalist books, and the colors are pretty neat, and then of course mutations and stuff like that. But that will bring definitely bring an appeal to the hobby aspect of the game as well.
Mm-hmm.
I know Dan's been doing some conversions, which is cool. Which is pretty cool. Also continuing with Titanicus next year, because again, I know when I have a feeling that it's just going to take off. As much printing as I've been doing with Battletech, I was definitely going to have to ramp up and start trying to get tables and stuff done for that game too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Get enough terrain, nice terrain. We have a whole bunch of plastic kits.
Yeah.
But there's files out there for 3D printing stuff, so
it's true.
Can make some beautiful pieces.
Very true.
Yeah, overall, that's gonna be a fun one.
Well,
very excited.
Oh yeah, what else we got? Oh, we've got Battletech. That sweet Battletech.
Uh-huh.
So we've got some game action happening soon.
Yes.
In the world of Battletech, and there's going to be a throwdown. I'm probably rocking my Clan Jade Falcon, just because there's no way in hell I'm going to end up getting my Grey Death Legion all painted up in time. House Liao is still on the table. They're still going to be around. Got to represent. And let these swine all throughout the Inner Sphere know who the real powerhouse is, but but yeah, no, it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to busting them out and getting all my kicks in while I can. It's going to be a lot of fun, especially using a lot of the new painted mechs.
Oh yes, been having a lot of fun painting and battle mechs, and actually have gotten a fair bit painted since we started getting these mechs.
Yeah.
My Clan Wolf, my Lyran Commonwealth, a couple of Wolf Dragoons, of course the Somerset Strikers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping for this upcoming game I can get some Free Worlds League mechs done up. Oh my
goodness.
I'm excited to paint purple, so
yeah.
So we'll see where we get at this week with that. But no promises. I might have to rely on one of the other painted factions. So
yeah.
But other than that, really, it's just continuously hammering those mechs out, finding what clan or what company that you want to do, and checking out like the battle values and stuff like that, and building little armies, right? Which is nice because it's one of those games where it doesn't take much. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. You can easily just tittle and tinker on your phone. It's essentially like, I know the site I use is almost like a battle scribe, where you can kind of, build your lance and/or star, and just alter your gunnery, pilot skill, and stuff, and it helps. It's nice to kind of know where you're at.
And the hype for it has been real as well. I mean, most people have probably seen it now out there, right? Where it used to be a not too well known game, but even locally with our group of our friends and players here in our community, everybody's been hammering down on painting.
Yeah.
Right? Like Phil, he plugs away at stuff and like just punches mechs out, beautiful mechs. And
it's true. It's true.
Jason Stevens, he's gotten a few projects on the go, and I know he's just super, super excited, right? With mechs that he gets all done up, and the availability of the Catalyst Game Labs mechs that have been trickling out, it's getting a lot better. And then of course you always have the option of the 3D printing mechs, which they are not shabby at all as long as you find the right person printing them.
Yeah, they're very nice.
So there's always that, right? Very inexpensive game to get into and start up and play, right? So it's pretty neat. Even though, the game itself mainly is you're playing on these map sheets, hexed map sheets. But over the last more than a few months, but quite a few months, I should say. I've been in a different time, yeah. Back in the Star League. I've just been 3D printing terrain for Battletech, and I think the moment
been busy.
I think at the moment, I'm gonna say I can probably set up maybe 5 map sheets. Right?
That's crazy.
So, and it's neat because I think it's Steel Warrior Studios has been bringing out these crazy kits, and you can buy them printed from them, of course, for a cost, or you can buy the STL like I have files, and they have a lot of cool looking different style kind of battlefields, from anywhere from like Trinity City to desert hills or grasslands to there's even like an aerospace runway kind of drag strip airport kind of thing. You've got factories, you've got nuclear power plants and pipelines and stuff like that, refineries. There's even like forward bases and stuff like that, rivers. So they really put a good amount of work and detail, and the prints, I'm telling you, hobby-wise, like from that point of view, I know some 3D printing can be a pain in the ass, but these files that they make, they literally say no supports required, and I'm telling you right now, no supports are required. Like, they've honed down these 3D print files to the point where you literally plug them in, as long as your printer's set, print, go, and it's awesome, like super awesome. So there's that option, if you're looking at that. The interesting thing is when because we haven't really played with the terrain.
No.
So it's going to be interesting to see how it acts in the game, how it's different compared to just the sheet, right? So it'll be fun. It'll be good, and it will bring that next level to it as well. You know, having the 3D mech on the table, going through, you know, the cityscape of Trinity City kind of thing. You have that feel of how big these mechs are compared to buildings and, you know, stuff like that, right? So I know I'm always excited about it. Anytime I print something off, like, ooh. Pull out some of the painted mechs, set it up, show pictures to the boys, you know.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm definitely looking forward to playing with some of the terrain and kind of getting through. Because there's another little set of rules for that stuff too.
Yeah.
It should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, because we'll be doing that. Plus, we'll be. I actually have to bring that up in the discussion, but we should probably figure out. We're going to try some missions.
Oh yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, I think that was pretty much the gist of it for Battletech.
Yeah. No, definitely. I know. Next topic here, we've got some bolt action kicking off. I know I'm actually coming this week. I'm gonna make the trek, so
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I got to put that call out for the guys to come down to play. I'm sure there's gonna be a few of them coming down already. Yeah, it's been so far so good. You know, guys have been trickling in, playing. It's nice to see you guys are still dedicated to actually getting some games, even though, you know, we are where we are.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping, especially in the new year, you know, after LVO is done, after that commitment of getting that getting the army completely done and having LVO done with, can start to really concentrate a little bit more, not only on the hobby aspect of the game of building armies and painting and stuff like that, but there's also the other hobby aspect of the game, especially if you are a content or, you know, team leader in the community.
Yep.
As a lot of us are, is trying to bring that community up one step. You know, I've had plans for a while to generate some kind of campaign or generate some kind of events for whatever games that I'm in, you know, and help out with a crew, you know, a min team for Heresy or whatever, right? So I'm hoping that hobby aspect, because I know I do a lot of background details with, you know, visual stuff for the systems and maps and this and that. You know, that brings another aspect to the hobby of integrating people actually into that universe of what you're playing, right? And bringing hype.
Not to mention, you bust out, you know, all the thumbnails for our podcast channel.
Yeah, there's some work to do there too for next season. So, but even still, like, it's a little bit of work, but it is very satisfying when it's done, and people actually appreciate it, you know, as you're doing it, and it's nice to get that feeling. You know, people kind of just are blown away, like, holy smokes, this is awesome, you know.
Yeah.
So in hobby terms, like, that aspect of it, like, you might not think it's part of your hobby, but if you are one of those individuals that, you know, kind of leads the community, it is, right? That's part of it. It's part of the artwork, pretty much, of the background, So,
Mm-hmm.
and it's there's a lot of people that have great ideas out there for that stuff. So, no, it's awesome. We've been doing it for quite a few years now. So
Yeah.
it's good. It's good. But yeah, for other projects for like bolt action, I know myself and Jason have been really talking back and forth. We've been talking about the whole Stalingrad thing for a long, long time. We finally started actually doing some missions and setting up the actual map tables that they have for scenarios specifically, which means more terrain and different terrain. And I know Jason, he mentioned on the last bolt action episode, he's gotten a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of MDF terrain, and it's insane. And I think one of my things for next year is to start to get a lot more of that done as well. Because I know you and myself there, Bill, we were talking about terrain before.
Oh yeah.
And as many armies as we have in miniatures, there is a large comparable size of terrain that needs to be worked on, and
Yeah.
also also kind of brought into the fold, right?
If you've ever seen the Instagram pictures, you know. It's not a closet of shame, it's a storage room of shame.
Pretty much.
But at least it's organized, god damn it.
Exactly. But as much like futuristic and 40k 30k Titanic is kind of terrain that you have,
Yeah.
I've got enough miniatures, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But trying to get more terrain specifically for bolt action, like I have some that I need to work on, but trying to get more to actually get tables set up and have options, and come over to your place and we have different kind of tables that we can use, or terrain to have matches or whatever, right, to fit the setting would be excellent. And it's a little different. It's a little bit different because you don't really have a lot of plastic kits for bolt action. It's a lot of homemade, and or you get them from these other places for MDF, like Cerise Precision and Foreground and stuff like that, right? So they can be pricey, just as much as the plastic kits, but they're a little bit more delicate. So storage and handling and stuff like that. So, but hobby-wise, yeah, that's I think that's a big ticket for next year too.
Terrain for sure.
Yeah,
it's on the docket. There's definitely a lot of man hours sitting in those totes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also fun, right? Like terrain can be a really good palette cleanser in terms of taking a break from building, even painting. Terrain lets you really cheat, and there's a lot of ways you can cover up mistakes and even just cut a lot of corners, and yet the quality of your paint job won't diminish at all.
Yeah, honestly, at the time, there was some time that we were working on terrain, and I remember spending I don't know, it was 3 weeks to a month working on that Dark Angels
Fortress of Redemption.
Yeah, exactly. And ultimately, in the end, it let me try out some different techniques It was the first time I ever really tried doing that whole glow effect with like lights,
Yeah.
and it ultimately it turned out really, really well. Now, a little history with that kit is it probably was sitting in a box collecting dust
Yeah.
at our local shop for 10 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
So
If not more.
it was, if not more. So it was finally at that point of like, you know what, I want to take on a big project. This is when I had some time off a couple years ago, and yeah, I just plugged away at it, and it let me challenge myself, and it let me try different things and play around with the airbrush and stuff, which was awesome because once that was done, it was very satisfying to have it out. I think I have it on my Instagram. We might even have it on ours, Tridents as well. But doing that allowed me to work on, I think it was a void shield generator or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
that Dan has. And again, it just kind of upped my game on terrain. It was fun. Like you said, a palette cleanser, and little things happen, and you're like, that's okay. Fix it up.
Yeah.
Go.
It's
But
the ultimate Bob Ross experience, for real.
yeah, it's fun to do. It's fun to do. It's fun to get away. You have large surfaces that you can work with, you know, just stuff like that, and you don't have to really go and highlight stuff because ultimately you want your models really to be concentrated on, and
Yeah.
the terrain is just kind of in the background.
It is, I think, to expand on that, like, your terrain should look good, but it shouldn't compete with the models on the board for attention.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The only exception to that is if you're doing this huge, large scale, epic, like Siege of Terra
yeah.
event, where this is terrain that comes out like maybe twice a year. And when it does come out, it's for like a large event and people are blown away by it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's that stuff. And you can put as much detail as you want into your terrain. And no one's saying that, you should or shouldn't, but ultimately should be fun to do.
Yeah.
So, and I know I got a whole bunch of trees to do.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of products that I had bought, a couple of videos out there that I checked out to how to do this stuff. I still got to get more product to actually start creating that, but having trees for bolt action and just it's good scatter terrain. It's good. It makes the field look really good, and it comes alive, right? So yeah, lots of terrain, lots of happenings for that. Probably. Besides bolt action terrain, I'm sure there'll be some Necromunda stuff too.
Yeah, I think Necromunda will definitely be on the docket. I know 40K is already on the radar. For me,
Oh, yes.
For me, I'm going Drukhari. I've had the models sitting new on sprue, a full army of them for like over a year, no lie. And Drukhari was all the hype and super OP and broken, and I was like, well, sure as shit ain't gonna play them now, right? Like, I'm gonna wait. And then they've been, tweaked twice, and they're finding more stuff they gotta tweak, and now it's like, okay, well, whatever. Forget it, I'll just jump in and play and just roll with the punches, right? Like,
yep.
I've always wanted to play them. I just, I don't like being that guy. Like, flavor of the month is not what I like to do. I like to, stick with something and play it because I like it. So,
yeah.
But I figured,
exactly.
Now is the time. The models are begging to be built and painted, and I'm looking forward to something with nice like body lines and different armor. Like I've been playing and painting Space Marines power armor for well over like 10, 12 years.
Yeah, it's again palate cleanser, but
Orcs
takes you out of that comfort zone too, right?
Well, it does. Orcs have been fun and they're gritty, but I'm trying to do the Dark Eldar where I want them to be a little cleaner and, you know, really look at alien, right, to make them stand out. So
yeah, it's funny because we decided, like, we split a couple boxes here and there, and I ended up grabbing the Sisters of Battle stuff. Never played them before. You know, there's always a whole bunch of us were always like, yeah, I would like to play them, but pewter miniatures at the time, right? And now that all these plastic kits have come out, it's just like, yep, doing it.
yeah,
So
twist my rubber arm.
Well, I mean, from playing Imperial Guard, playing Space Marines, played Chaos Space Marines way back when.
Yeah.
You know, played Orcs, and still love playing and collecting Space Marines. But I figured, well, why not, right? Like,
yeah, next step.
Let's do the Sisters of Battle. I know there's going to be a lot of faces to try to paint and stuff like that, which is good for me because it's practice as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, really, if I wanted to just change it up and do something quick, I have Necrons as well.
That's true.
Right, which is another army I never really played. So I got those two. Of course, the Marines are in the background, depending on what chapter I finally pulled the trigger on.
Yeah, we've got Beta Marines ready to go here, and Monty is trying to figure out what side of the Beta conflict he's on.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a hard time with some of the chapters in that, but
yeah.
And then of course I have demons as well. So
this is I almost forgot about
if I want to, and here's the thing: is I have, like, my Tzinch demons are pretty much almost all painted. I have like a few other kits to paint up. But I have Nurgle, I have Slaanesh, I have Khorne, and I have an abundance of these miniatures. So, you know, at any time I want to go play or paint some kind of fleshy miniature, because it's all pretty much muscle and sinew with those guys. And different. The nice thing is it's different hues and different colors for demons. So if I really want to spice something up, I can just go and switch over to them too, right? But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of options. There'll be a lot of entertaining and you know, involving learning the game again as well. But hobby-wise, a lot of miniatures to play around with, convert, come up with, you know, and see how they fit in to the game in its edition at the moment.
Yeah. And
then and of course there's more coming out with all these little tidbits that we've seen. What is it? Is it Chaos and Elder or something like that?
Yeah, it looks like some Chaos Space Marines will be coming out. Tau's coming. Eldar's coming. Eldar's been a long time in the making, I'm sure, because
I wonder how much is coming out for Eldar.
I can see a complete...
Or Eldari, whatever they call it.
Probably a whole range, like, revamp. I think they'll get everything.
So Ted's in trouble.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, clutch your wallets, friends, because it's going down.
Yeah, I don't know. After playing Space Marines, you know, in the hobby and like different chapters or legions and like converting and painting up, it's the nice thing with 40K hobby wise is there is a huge selection of Xeno races.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, hey, if you like that anime mecha kind of style, Tau is probably for you. You know, orcs. There's so many wicked looking different miniatures now. It's ridiculous, but again, that might be for you, right? So, Tyranids, Necrons, yeah, totally different kind of aspect of the spectrum there. But lots of stuff for next year. A lot of hobby projects for sure.
Yep.
And we're probably going to be doing a lot of learning next year
Yes.
to share with you guys too. Right?
Yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch of new stuff. Like the new year, it's coming up quick. And yeah, it'll just, new year, new systems. Going to try some new painting techniques. Going to try and, push the boundaries a little bit with color palette and really have fun with it. So definitely stay tuned for that stuff.
And that's one thing I definitely got to sit down with you and kind of go through some of that stuff, with the color wheel and just kind of the theories on some of the stuff, and because I know you've been doing a lot of glazing and stuff lately too.
Yeah, I've been trying to practice that.
And here's a thing actually that kind of came up is, I've been using that AK interactive enamel.
Mm-hmm.
I found that I've been really relying on that a lot, and I'm not really doing a whole bunch of highlights and or layering and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those habits I'm gonna have to try to break, just to get back to trying to improve the actual painting techniques and stuff. Don't get me wrong, stuff looks good, looks great. I'm very, very happy with it.
Yeah.
But I always do want to try to up my game a little bit each time, right?
Well, that's the thing.
And,
it's a good tool to have in the belt for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I like the washes like that because it adds a filter to your model. I have been experimenting with contrast and using the flow improver, mixing it with the skeletal horde and a small drop or two of the basilicanum gray, and just washing over my models. And sometimes it's 3-to-1, 4-to-1 with float improver to really kind of thin it out, but it does add that small filter where I can get it done quick. I don't have to hand paint the enamel on. I don't have to airbrush it or clean it up with the spirits, and I kind of like having the flexibility of going back and forth,
right,
depending on the look you're going for. And it's definitely there's lots of little goodies and tips and little tricks out there that we can keep exploring, keep looking at. I'm gonna try and jump onto some lessons online as well, just to really try and push myself a little bit and see where it goes.
Definitely. Nice.
Year-end video, my friends, on the 29th. You will not want to miss that. That I would definitely suggest tuning into on the YouTube, though. You can still listen, obviously, on any of your podcast channels or any of the podcast platforms, but YouTube is where we're gonna actually have all of our pictures, year in review of all the different projects we've gotten done this year, and it'll be a little slideshow on there, so you'll appreciate it more on YouTube. That is, so
yeah, definitely. And we definitely have taken a lot of pictures. So.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's been awesome. So yeah, should be a gooder. But I think that kind of rounds up the last hobby episode for 2021. Feels so weird to say, but
yeah, gone pretty quick.
Yeah.
But nice.
Well, excellent. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And we will catch you next time.
See you.